I'm going to leave it up here because it's too hard. It's high enough. No playing games, Don. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the December Forum. It's actually a better crowd than I expected with the time of year it is. Some folks have already left to be with loved ones, but we're all here, so we're happy to be here. And with that, I'll ask Aaron to come up to lead us in the pledge.
Good afternoon. If you're able, please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. I'll be followed by Chaplain Duke.
I had not looked in today to see where the podium would be, and I'm all of a sudden having this feeling like I should go and get some plates and start to pass them down the aisles. And I'll give you one of my short sermons. How about that? Hour and a half. Okay. All right, let's get to it. Let's pray. Lord, in the midst of all the festivities, help us to feel your joy. In the midst of all of the coming and going, the hustling and the bustling, help us to feel your peace. In the midst of busy schedules, help us to slow down and know the greatest gift of all, your love for us and the love you give us for each other. We offer these prayers back to you as we gather here today in your great name. Amen. All right, Vicki Doherty.
Well, I got my steps in for the day. I have been so busy, Sue and I have been so busy that I can hardly see straight. So let me just find my glasses here. Okay. Now I'm in the holiday spirit, and I hope you all are too. It is so great to see all of your smiling faces. There's just a few things I want to go over today. The first of all, let's talk about the wine and food pairing. Who was at that event? Wow. Big kudos to Chad and the culinary team for the absolutely outstanding food that was served to us that day. Top notch, everything was brilliant, so thank you for that. Next, I'd like to talk about New Year's Eve. Elvis will be in the building. We are going to have a rockin' good time, so I hope that you will all put your names into the lotto for ticketing. We will be able to seat 240 people in this space. Here we go. Pledge. There we are. Here I am. So Elvis will be in the building. And so once again, make sure that if you would like to attend, you put your name in the lottery. We'll be able to accommodate 240 people in the space with the chapel wall open. So we should have a great turnout for that. As a thank you for their service throughout the year, I have invited my Life Engagement Committee members to get priority tickets for that event. So if you're a Life Engagement Committee member and you have not claimed your tickets, please see me. Also, we need a number of volunteers for the casino night that we'll be doing to follow after the concert in the evening. So the schedule event goes as follows. Elvis will be in the building from 3 to 4:30 doing an afternoon concert for us. Then you'll be able to go and enjoy our New Year's Eve dinner, which I'm sure Chad will tell you all about. And after dinner, we will be hosting a casino night here in the auditorium, and it is going to be a drop-in casual event, casino cocktail lounge vibes. We will have blackjack, we'll have slot machines, we will have roulette, and we will have craps. We have put a sign up out for volunteers to help run those tables and for a number of volunteer roles that we need filled. We have filled almost all of them within 24 hours, so a tremendous thank you to all of you who've been willing to come forward and volunteer. We have 3 spots open, blackjack, poker, and craps, so if you're skilled in any of those areas, we would love to have you come host a table for us. So please make sure that you take a look at that list, which is in the communication room for sign up. Next, we're going to move on to some 2024, 2025 updates, refreshes, and things that we need from you. If you are a volunteer here on campus and you document your hours for us, please make sure to have all of your 2024 hours in before the end of the year. At the beginning of the year, our corporate counterparts ask us to send up a report, and we have a volunteer, Hank Saunders. For those of you who do not use Volunteer Matters Online to log your hours, he puts together a report for us. So if we give it to him before the end of the year, then he's able to give that to us in a timely fashion to send up to our corporate counterparts for social accountability purposes. So please make sure you get those volunteer hours in. A reminder, if you're doing paper volunteer logs, the binder for that is kept in the communication room. In terms of the 2025 life engagement goals and initiatives, who remembers the Village Voice? We all do, and we miss it. It's been a loved publication over time. We did go online, but there's a tremendous amount of work that goes into that publication. It was like a small 12-page magazine, often which I would take at home and do at night to make sure it was out for you to enjoy. And then when it went online, and there were some shifts, we had a little bit less engagement with that particular publication. And then, of course, over time, our wonderful editorial board, everybody wants to retire at some point from their post. So we had a number of people retire over time, and we were down to just 4 people on that editorial board. So in 2025, I will be hosting an interest meeting, and I would like to resume at least a quarterly publication, but I will need people who have interest in writing and editing to join us in that effort. I have a couple of people who have come forward who I'll be reaching out to directly, but if that is a skill set or a talent or something you would be interested in, please reach out to me because we would love to get that launched once again. We have a wonderful life engagement committee. A couple of you are in the room. If you're on my life engagement committee, would you please raise your hand? I see 2 back there. So they've done a tremendous job, right here, a tremendous job of helping us plan programs throughout the year. If you've enjoyed campus activities, concerts, and events we've had, I can only say that I claim the space. The group really helps me plan and inform those activities. So if you are interested in being part of community activity and contributing to that committee, please reach out to Karen or Sandy, Karen Harden, Sandy McCrae, and just like all other committees, there will be sign-up sheets in the communication room for you to sign up if you're interested in participating in any of our committees. The one last thing I will ask, if you are part of a community activity group or a committee that I put on my calendar, if you will be changing your times or you would be like to be added to the side panel of activities that you see on your calendar, please reach out to me for those changes so I can make sure that our times, locations, and activities are up to date and accurate for 2025. That's all I have for you. I will be here after if you have any direct questions for me. And without further ado, I'm going to hand off the mic to Stephen Anderson. Come on up.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Stephen Anderson, Director of Property Management. Last one of the year, so we made it. We made it through it. I will not take too much time, just a couple of quick things for you. The first thing I'd like to talk about is landscaping. Many of you have probably noticed that New Leaf is in the process of completing our replant. It has taken a little bit longer to get started with that process because of the extremely mild weather that we've had this fall. But they are in the process of the replant going on campus-wide. That will continue through the next week and a half, and then New Leaf will not be with us after December 31st. So we will have landscape management. That's the new vendor for the maintenance contract. They will be starting January 2nd. Will be their first day. I look forward to having them. So far, I'm very excited with the presentation that they've made on campus. So we look forward to that. The other big announcement that I have, or thing that I wanted to talk about was, I guess maybe about 10 days ago, a couple weeks ago, we met with the fire department. Last April, we had that event in the West Building where we had the elevator room smoke event, had a lot of smoke in the 5th and 6th floors, and it made us want to reevaluate the evacuation plan for the buildings. So we finally got to meet with the fire marshals and some of the fire chiefs from Station 16 and Station 11. We had a very productive meeting. We're going to be meeting again in January to continue that discussion. We got some really good ideas and feedback from them. We also have re-invited them to start coming back to the Sunday brunches that they used to take part in. So you'll see more firemen on campus moving forward at the beginning of the year once we get some of the details worked out. They're also going to be using this space in the auditorium for some of their training that they need to do, for some of their in-house fireman training, and even some of their emergency training for the just standard 911 and emergency services stuff. So that was pretty exciting. But once we get some more of the details done with the evacuation plan, we're going to be sending that up to corporate to make sure that everybody's on the same page. We get that approved. And then the plan is in February to have you guys back from the West and East departments separately to discuss the new evacuation plan. We'll go through that pretty thoroughly. We'll be updating some of the resident handbook information to make sure that everybody's on the same page and we know exactly what we're supposed to do in those events. But that is really all that I have to discuss right now. Thank you for a great year. I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that good stuff. That's it for me. Thank you very much. I'll turn it over to Julie.
Well, Monday, this boot is coming off. Oh, thank you, Jesus. And my husband will no longer call me Eileen. Oh. But Steve has asked that I continue to use the scooter because it gets me to work faster. So, no, I really won't. I'll be donating my scooter to the community. So we had a good year, a lot of new residents that moved in 2024. And I broke it down into quarters just so you could briefly look at the names and the new residents. If a new resident moved in this year, raise your hand. Anyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And that's quarter one. Quarter two, we had a few transfers and whatnot, but a very good quarter. Quarter three, that's when John came to the big house. We're excited for him. Quarter four, and we are still having people knocking on our doors and saying, let us in before 25. So yeah, really busy. We had 257 households join the wait list, and we continue to work that list. We will have more events this next year for our priority list members, so you might see them a little more often, but a lot of those activities, I'm going to include you fabulous people because they'll want to come in when they see how fun and cool all of you are, and then they'll just rush in. So I wanted to thank the families that helped us with a successful holiday tour. It was beautiful. Everything was just beautiful, and people opened up their homes to us. We so appreciate that. You have no idea. And we hear from the priority list people how beautiful it is here. And I like that the residents got to see some of the apartments too. So we're going to expand that out even further next year and do something fun so we can really get more people. And if you want to do it, start thinking about decorating your house for Christmas next year and get on our list. And we can even expand out further how many people open their homes up to us. So, and also I want to thank everyone in 2024. If you showed your apartment for tours, or if you gave tours, or if you volunteered for us, you really make our job so much easier, and we so appreciate you 200%. And so we want to really thank you for that. And when you start to complain about Georgia weather being cold, this is where I'm from. And I remember that storm, and that is a true picture of the whole city was like that. And so when you think it's really cold here, just remember there are other places that are even colder. So this is next is Chadwick.
Hurry along here. Afternoon, everybody. My name is Chad Whitehead, the Culinary Director. I have some updates for y'all. So we did the new reservation menus Monday. We did about 2 entree changes and a different sauce for the lamb chops, and added about 3 more sides on that. So we're going to continue to do that every 2 months and just switch it up. There seems to be some confusion in a sense. We're not going to do a full redo of the menus. We're just going to alternate some items and look at what's the least ordered, the most ordered, and also with the comment cards, what communication you give us. Sydney's will be updated in January, as Vicki was talking about. So for New Year's, we're going to have our usual amazing surf and turf menu. Christmas will be a brunch. New Year's Day will be a brunch as well. And I want to give you all some information. Don't have this coming down, so it's a little bit harder to see, but this is what we look at monthly of the chefs to see what's the most frequently ordered item. So we're really paying attention to that. If you can see, for buffet, we had 7,172 for last month. And then we had, if you look at it, the burger is actually in second place if you add it with cheeseburgers. Thanks to inputs, we also put a fruit dessert in Sydney's, and it seems to be really ordered a lot, just like the other desserts. So we appreciate the feedback and glad to see it's going over well.
The last one on there is vegetarian chili. Who had that? The one person. There it is. The one person.
And I've heard it's good, right? Okay, quietness. But so we're going to look at that too, to kind of do different vegetarian healthy items too. So that's what we're looking at. And as you can tell, what's missing from this top list, pizza. Last month we didn't have it, so we didn't have numbers on that. Usually our top seller here, right? Really want to do a shout out to Scott, Steven, and corporate. They really helped us really push that old machine was a lemon, and we get a new one. So we got a new one in, completely new. Thank y'all. We're excited about it. Glad to have it back. And we did about 519 orders the month before, so it's up there as a top seller. Want to do a couple of shout outs too. Some new faces you're going to see. We have Joyce Cornett, our nutrition services manager over at OBT in Wilbur Court. Excited to have her on. And then we have Linda Carter, our restaurant manager. She's over at Independent Living. These two are rock stars. I'm so happy to have them on my team. We're going to go so far with them. So then go into our open positions. So right now we have 2 line cooks that are open full-time, and then 2 part-time prep cooks. And then we also need about 3 part-time medical diet aides. But what we're super excited about, dishwashers fully staffed, servers fully staffed. That's rare you hear that. We're super excited to have that. Once you have full staff, you can really push more things, more standards, put more that we can do for y'all. So that's step one, and our goal for 2025 is to be fully staffed and then retention as well. So very excited about that. Recycling, let's go green. So we've been put on the link weekly about returning the disposables. Please wash those and bring those back. That's kind of the biggest thing we're running into now. We're trying to figure out by numbers, is it that we're pushing that initiative very far so it's more popular, so we need more containers. We'll be ordering some more next month to kind of keep up with need. But if we don't get those returned, then they're not in circulation as much. So please return those as much as you can. We have a return spot in the bistro and in the mailroom of Clubhouse. We're looking for some other options as far as pickups, housekeeping helping with that as well. So we're looking at that initiative and seeing what we can do to make that better. I've been asked a lot, what do they look like? So I have a picture as well. Literally a green plastic reusable container. If you ask that at the host stand, I'd like mine in a green container, reusable. We'll provide that. Hopefully down the road, we're going to get where that's the primary and the default one. But right now, we got to keep up with supply and demand. But that's our goal, to get to that point where it's the default vessel. I'm about to go to that, but I had a couple more things. Let's see. Comment cards. Thank you so much for your input for comment cards. We use that, we look at it, we apply and implement new things based off that. But if you're having issues in a dining room, if a steak's not cooked right, if you have a cold dish or anything, comment cards brings us aware of that, but asking for a supervisor is so much more helpful, because we can go straight out to it, grab that dish, go back to the server, the cook at that time, and address it with them, and in a visual too, compared to if it's 2 weeks later, a week later, and we're looking at it, we have to go back to the schedule, look at the menu item, look at the cook, who was in that area. It's so much easier. We always have a supervisor for every meal period, at least one. So please ask for a supervisor. I know staff has to be there to asking y'all too, so we're working on training for that too, but please ask for us so we can fix things. The second thing was I want to shout out the Resident Culinary Committee. Thank y'all so much. Y'all did so much this year, and I could not have asked for a better committee just for my first director position. We worked great as a team, and I can't wait to continue making next year even better for y'all, to serve y'all. Also to shout out Miss Lee, did an amazing job leading in that committee. I can't thank her enough. And also shout out to Miss Hickman. She gets all those comment cards, does a summary for us so we can really break down those numbers. It's hours upon hours that she's compiling that. Thank you so much. Looking forward to next year to really do a great job. My goal is to make us the best culinary department in the company, and with the team I have, it's very feasible. So that's our goal. Merry Christmas, and thank you for your time.
Nice.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just slid in on wheels. It's been a busy couple of days since I've been back to work. I appreciate your patience while I was gone on vacation last week, and I thank Stephanie Pitts, who is the nurse practitioner from Tryon Estates, who covered for me. She was here in person on Monday and then available to you guys and to my girls in the office last week as well. A couple of things that I wanted to bring up. It's the end of the year. New insurance cards, new insurance plans, those types of things will take effect January 1. If you have a change, please provide your insurance cards to the wellness office as well as Vicki Westmoreland. If you have a spouse in OBT or Willowbrook Court, please provide a copy for those areas as well. It is very important for us to keep this information up to date. And we will provide you a copy of those cards as well to put in your emergency baggies when you have changes. Those need to be updated as well, and the copy put in there so if you have to go out to the hospital emergently, then all that information is there and you don't have to fumble with your cards. Something new that is going to be happening in the wellness office effective January 1, every visit that you have in my office with me or my staff, you need to bring your insurance cards. We are going to scan those every time, okay? And that's a change. We haven't had to do that, but it's causing some issues with billing and that kind of thing. And if the billers in corporate in Maryland can have those cards at their fingertips, then the billing errors and insurance things will go through much easier, because they don't, right now they're in PCC, which is a different software package, and they don't have access to that. So that's creating a phone call to us, send us the insurance cards, let's correct the information, you know, those kind of things. So you have to have that done pretty much at every other provider's office in town. So, you know, we're just coming up to speed with that. So again, any insurance changes, please provide those to the areas that need to be provided for. We do still have some flu vaccines for 65 and over, as well as COVID vaccines. If you have had COVID, or if you have had COVID in the last 90 days, and your time is coming up and you need the COVID vaccine, you can certainly come to the office, make an appointment and come to the office, and we can provide that for you. And we do have the flu vaccines. We will have a new feature rolling out for my electronic medical record, which is called NextGen. Hopefully in the first quarter of next year, it will be a patient portal. Many of you have asked for access to a portal like MyChart that the hospital has, where I send my lab work, where you can see your labs and those kind of things. We will be rolling that out hopefully by, like I said, in the first quarter of next year. We have to do we have to learn how to use it ourselves. And then I will ask, you know, a handful of you, maybe 5 to 10 people, to help us pilot that. So we'll be in touch once we get our ducks in a row and learn how to use the process. But you'll be able to see, you'll be able to send messages to us to answer. You'll be able to see my notes and your after visit summaries of your visit with me as well, just like you would see in Epic, but again, a different platform. Our holiday schedule, I think it's been published in the link. Kim put it out. We're going to be open half day on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. We'll be closed Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So the after hours plan will be in place for pendant calls. Oak Bridge Terrace will cover those just like usual. So please use your pendant if you need us. And that brings up another point. Wear your pendants, have them available within arm's reach. People are falling and not utilizing their pendant system like they should, and we want you guys to be safe. We want to help you, but if we don't know that you need help, we can't help. So utilize that. Get the help when you need it. If you have a surgical procedure upcoming, an outpatient procedure, anything like that, please notify Kim so we can follow up and check in with you following the procedure, see if you need meals delivered and that type of thing. That service is there for you. That's part of Kim's job, is to case manage the independent living residents. So please notify her when you have procedures so we can be aware and help if needed. And I think that's about it. I hope you guys have a happy holiday season and Merry Christmas, and I'll see you around.
Whoop, wrong way. There you go. So I'm Sherry Wilder, the Director of Fitness and Rehab, and looking into moving forward into 2025, we're going to be hearing a lot of talk about wellness, preventative measures, your well-being, and how do we manage that. And so, that is our primary focus for the team in fitness and rehab, is how do we maintain your well-being. So my question to you is, are you thriving here at Lanier Village? And in rehab, we use the term thrive a lot. And a lot of people say, well, what does thrive mean, right? So thrive is actually an acronym that ACTS has developed that stands for Therapy Helping Residents with Independence and Vitality Effectively. So when we say thrive, our goal for you truly is to maintain your independence and to help you age in place. So health experts say that all adults need these for successful aging. We need energy, strength, balance, flexibility, and the mind. All of these components are important for our overall well-being. And these categories are all covered in our Thrive screen that we offer to you every year. The Thrive screen is just an extra tool that can be used to gather information, and it helps us to help you see if there are any recommendations we would have for you to help you maintain your aging in place. So what constitutes successful aging? The medical definition is the prevention or delay of disability, dementia, frailty, and these things have a really negative connotation. But here at Lanier Village, we really prefer a definition of successful aging as living a robust life full of vitality, meaning, purpose, and joy. So what are the benefits of thriving here at Lanier Village? We want you to be able, well, as we go through some of the processes and address different things with you in different areas, we want to identify if there's a possible problem or risk before it becomes apparent even to yourself. We may be able to see things more objectively or in a different view and capture some things sooner rather than later. It also allows you to proactively seek care before a disability occurs. That's where your prevention comes in. We want you to maintain your independence for as long as possible and be free from fear of falling, and to do what you enjoy without limits, living your best life. So how do you start thriving with ACTS here at Lanier Village? We offer a variety of different programs through the fitness and rehab department, and I just wanted to review some of those with you as we go into 2025. For the fitness program, we are going to be really focusing more on fitness in 2025. There are some presentations that are going to be developed for you guys to come and watch. In the first quarter, there will be a presentation that describes everything the fitness team offers and how you can get more involved in order to improve your physical fitness. Also, we're going to continue offering our Thrive screens through the rehab department. That is an annual opportunity for you to come and address those 5 areas of risks, which is the energy, strength, flexibility, balance, and the mind. And we offer these screens the same way we did this past year, which is on a monthly basis. We'll have the Thrive screen events here in the auditorium, and you'll be receiving an invitation based on where you live, just like we did last year. So whatever time if it was February last year, you'll be invited again February this year. Also, there are many opportunities to get involved through the fitness, which include any kind of community activities. There's a variety of fitness classes, and individual therapy sessions can all be part of your fitness program. We have also offered rehab chats, which is just something we do to be available to you to answer any questions that you may have regarding fitness or rehab services. So this year, we're still going to be having a therapist available to answer questions. It's still going to be held on Fridays from 12:30 to 1, but the location is going to change this coming year. We're going to be holding it right outside the fitness center rather than up in the clubhouse lobby. So I'll put a little flyer out for you guys just as a reminder of that location change for our rehab chats. And as always, if you have any questions, concerns, want more information about any of our programs, you are always welcome to come by my office. I am, open door policy, so don't hesitate to come by and just ask me about anything that you have questions about. All right, and I just encourage you to get involved and be thriving. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I did have a question. Has your department ever considered contracting with massage therapy? As a complementary therapy that is good for.
Right, so massage therapy is not something that would be offered through the rehab department, but it would be a contracted vendor. I know that was something that was really looked strongly as an opportunity, and then the pandemic hit, and everything got put on hold because we couldn't have somebody going from apartment to apartment while the pandemic was on. Now that that's over, and we have Scott here now. That is a conversation that we are definitely having as far as trying to look at more opportunities to possibly bring a massage therapist on campus.
I was thinking more of, I go out for massage therapy.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have over a number of years, because I believe in complementary and alternative methods first, before more invasive. Maybe it's because I was in healthcare 40 years, and invasive doesn't always help.
I agree 100%.
But anyway, what I was thinking was not somebody who goes from one apartment, but many CCRCs, and I used to be involved in surveying health establishments in Wisconsin. But anyway, they have a separate massage therapy suite, if you will, room, and seniors would come down there. And of course, it's pay as you go.
Right. Yeah, no, I think it would be a huge benefit to you guys. It would certainly be well attended. There are a lot of residents that could benefit from it. Yes, that is a spacing issue. And again,
The elevation of the bed, in fact, when I go out, one of the things for massage therapy, one of the things I don't like is that not all massage therapy places has an adjustable, so as a senior, I
Right.
have to step on a footstool and go up to the massage bed.
I understand.
And I thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I had, so I've been known to change massage therapy if they don't have.
Well, here at Linear Village, it's really, I think it's a huge blessing to be able to offer the rehab services here on campus. And all of the fitness programs that we do offer are here on campus. And to, entertain the opportunity to possibly bring on a massage therapist is definitely something that is, we're in the discussion of entertaining that. So,
We'll look into it early next year.
yeah,
Yeah, it's been well received at our senior.
right.
Yes. Yeah.
Big surprise.
aware
Okay,
of that.
well, thank you so much. And the next person up is Tammy Steth.
Good afternoon. How's everybody?
All right.
All right, great. Thank you so much. I'm Tammy Stith. I'm the administrator of WBC and OBT, so I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having us out today, and thanks for coming. I got some significant announcements for you today about WBC and OBT. WBC floor replacements are being scheduled. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! It's Christmas time, so we are thrilled to have those. That's going to be a refreshed and safe environment for our residents and staff. Looking forward to that. Next, we have fencing projects that have been ongoing. We've got our fencing up. It's near completion. We got a few more things to do, but it's also will make that a safer and more appealing area for our residents and staff. And then in our WBC dining rooms, we're doing modifications. The half walls in the downstairs dining room and the upstairs dining room have been removed. And this modification is going to create additional space for our resident exercise classes and activities. Before, you couldn't see over those little walls, and now it's opened up the room, and it looks great. So also, we've been working on our tables and chairs for WBC. We've been informed that those have arrived in our storage areas, so we're going to be planning a time to get those installed in our dining rooms in WBC. Yes. And then additionally, Kitty, I want to say thank you to you for meeting with me, and I'm going to ask you to do it again after the first of the year if we can. We have Joyce is our new nutrition service manager, and along with Chad being our new director, they have some questions and maybe some ideas that will add to our plan to make enhancements in those areas, so we're looking forward to that. And then again, we have additional remodels going on in our Blue Ridge and our Overlook neighborhoods. We have these little kitchenettes up there where the refrigerators and microwaves are. We're getting all new cabinets and countertops in those areas. So lots happening here in the WBC and OBT. And also, we have a new RN supervisor that we're onboarding in WBC, and her name is Trakina Moore. And Trakina is an RN and is also an infection preventionist. So you'll be seeing her in the weeks to come. So when you see Trakina, please give her the good old welcome to LVE. And so one of the other things I was asked to do today, we had a dinner last evening, an anniversary dinner, and with all the new folks that have come in or coming in. And one of the things Scott asked us to do was share a traditional or funny Christmas story, something that's happened to us in our family. And I wanted to share mine with you that happened years ago when my son was small. And my son, we call this a Christmas adventure. And so it was Christmas Eve, and my son, Chris, came to me, and he had this look in his eye, and saying that he had just written a letter to Santa, but it wasn't your usual letter. It was a letter to Santa, not about toys or candy, or even about Santa. It was about Santa's reindeer. He was on a mission to discover the truth. Not about Santa. He wanted undeniable proof that those reindeer were real. He said, Mom, I need Santa to leave me some proof that these reindeer are real, and I made a list. I'm like, oh no. He handed me a neatly written letter. I couldn't help but be a little nervous and smile at the same time. The list was very thorough. Santa was to provide his proof. What he wanted was whiskers from a reindeer, some fur, footprints, and evidence the reindeer had nibbled on the carrots that he left out for them. I'm like, panic is starting to set in a little bit. So it's like, how do you conjure up evidence of these mythical creatures? So now the question is, what am I going to do? So as soon as Chris went to bed, we got into action. We scoured the house, of course, for anything that can be repurposed for reindeer evidence. First on the list is the reindeer whiskers. So we landed on Chris's favorite cat toy. Of course, it was a toy, not a real cat. It had long whiskers, so we borrowed some whiskers from Mr. Whiskers with a little snip, snip, and hoping that he wouldn't notice the makeover. Next, we needed some reindeer fur. So it was a little bit more challenging, but we found a fuzzy reindeer toy. So we turned it over and snip, snip, got us some fur, and carefully trimmed it. And it wasn't real, but we hoped it was close enough to pass the test. The carrots were a little bit different. How could we make it look like those reindeer had taken a bite of those carrots? So we took a small kitchen knife and chop, 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 and we hoped it looked like nibbles on the edge of the carrots, and then placed them carefully along the fireplace as if they had been munched by the hungry reindeer. And then the big one, the footprints were the final hurdle. We needed something visible, so we decided on using powdered sugar. So we sprinkled the pattern leading from the fireplace to the front door, carefully creating hoof prints with the edge of a spoon. So we had transformed this scene into holiday fun with tangible evidence of reindeer life. I was nervous and excited to see Chris's reaction in the morning. So Christmas morning came. The house was filled with the sounds of excited children. Chris came into the living room and his eyes scoured the room. He surveyed the scene, taking in every detail, the whiskers, the fur, the nibbled carrots, and the powdered sugar footprints. He looked at me and he said, "Mom, look, Santa's reindeers are real." I was like, yes! A little happy dance. So Christmas morning, it was a great Christmas morning, and the story is the night we proved that Santa's reindeer were real, and it became a cherished story throughout our family as to the testament to the lengths that we are willing to go to preserve the wonder and magic of childhood. Yeah. And every year, as we decorated our house and prepared for Christmas, we remembered the night that the reindeer became real. So Merry Christmas, everybody.
Nice.
Merry Christmas. And so I'd like to invite Paige up now. She's our Director of Assisted Living of OBT.
Hello, everyone. My name is Paige Hatcher. I'm the Director of Assisted Living for Oak Ridge Terrace. I see some familiar faces in here. I just wanted to give you a brief advertisement for OBT. As many of you have seen in the link, I have been putting out there for anybody who is interested to come and tour with me. I've had several take me up on that offer. I actually have a legal pad that is almost full of all the tours that I've given. I see some faces in here that I've toured. I would encourage you, please, to reach out to me. You can contact me via phone or email. Both of those can be found on the link. I'm happy to do individual tours or group tours. I've had a couple of residents that have gotten together as a group of 4 or 5, and that has worked out really well. You're always welcome to come and just look around and kind of get an idea of what assisted living looks like, but you're not going to get the full picture unless you talk to me or one of the staff. But I would be more than happy to meet with you, and if you know a friend who has already come and done a tour, just ask them how it went. I promise you they won't have anything negative to say, I hope. So I'm going to tag off of Tammy real quick and just tell a short little story about my son. He is 3.5 years old, and every morning when he's getting ready to walk out the door, I tell him, "Have a good day." And his response to me is, "Happy good day." So happy good day.
Hello, everybody. For those that I haven't met yet, I'm Duke Walker, serve as a chaplain here at Lanier Village. And I tell you, there's just almost nothing as satisfying as a well put together slide. Is that right? I mean, can we not just give Chad a round of applause for that culinary container? Gorgeous, man, gorgeous. It's like, I want a shirt that has just the container on it. It says, "This is what it looks like." Yes. Well, as Vicki said, the committees here are fantastic. And I want to say thank you to the Spiritual Life Committee. We do this together. The ministry that happens here at LVE is done as a group effort between residents and myself. And I'm so grateful. It takes so many people here to pull off a ministry this large. And it helps me breathe easier that you all are on the Spiritual Life team. So thank you for that. I am not Tammy Smith. Oh, wow. There you go. So I have just a few announcements for you. One is the stained glass has been repaired in the chapel. Maybe you have seen that and enjoyed it. So glad that that has been resolved. And thank you, Stephen, for helping to get that squared away. That was a long project, and he deserves an Eagle Scout for that work, because that was a lot. I will be out of town from the 23rd of December through the 4th of January. Just for your information, I will be on campus on the 29th, and I will be on campus on the 5th as well. Those are both Sundays for our services then. So December, this coming Sunday, how many of you know Reverend Jamie Prickett from First Methodist Church? So he will be here and preaching for our Christmas Sunday service. The wall will be open. There will be plenty of room. I invite you to come on out for that. Following Jamie on the 29th, we will have our service of carols. Now, aside from getting to sing all these wonderful, familiar Christmas hymns, can you imagine a better party than Betsy Hopkins, Sarah Brayman, Mueller, Ann George, Margaret Walker, and Alan Sermons? They will all be there. Alan will be playing traditional hymns on the harmonica. Will be doing a solo. The ladies will be playing piano, duetting, and all kinds of wonderful things. So come on out on the 29th, bring a friend or 10, and let's sing together. Drown out my voice so everybody stays in the room as we're singing. January, Dickie Jensen, our dear friend Dickie Jensen, some of you may have known her. She died on December 5th. We will be having her service here on the 14th of January at 10 a.m. in the morning. It'll be in the chapel. Carolyn Clifton and Jimmy Prickett from First Methodist will be officiating that. So I invite you to come out, support her family and friends here. And a few highlights. So we will be looking to begin a Bible study in 2025. If you are interested, Joan Smith hand, Pam Ellis hand, you can reach out to either one of them. We want to get a list of anybody who has interest. That doesn't mean you are signed up and forever participating. We just want to get an idea of who would be interested. Call them, email them, they'll keep a list and get it to me for a Bible study in 2025. I am not Scott Cairns. I have just a couple of more things to share with you. One of the things that came out of Spiritual Life Committee this year was to increase our small group experiences. And so beginning in Lent next year, we are going to have 3 offerings for you, all commencing around the 26th of January. One will be called Practicing the Way. Brian McCartney and Joyce McCartney will be leading that. And that is for anybody who would like to grow in their journey of faith. They will be looking at how do we practically do that in the day-to-day. So that will be one that begins again on the 26th, or that's the interest meeting is on the 26th. It will actually begin February 10th. Then we will have also a Lenten study by your beloved Carl Ferguson. He will offer the humility section. Now, I know probably nobody here at LVE has a problem with humility. But for any of those who are interested in the times that we're living in where humility seems kind of scarce, you could come in and learn about other people. So I invite you to come out for that. It'll be a 5-week course that Carl will lead, and that will be during that Lent time leading up to Easter. And then the last thing, I see Marie Oakes here. I don't know that Pauline is in the room. Pauline Dorman and Marie Oakes will be offering something called Praying Our Goodbyes. We all have goodbyes that we say in life, things to people, to experiences, to abilities, and this is an opportunity to accept those goodbyes, to grow from them by reflecting on them and living prayerfully through them. If that's something that you are interested in, we will also be offering that as one of our Lenten offerings in 2025. All this leads up to our Drazik series. The Draziks, thank you. Yes, we have some save the dates for you as you walk out today. They'll be handed out at the doors. Money was left to endow a lecture series to speak about spirituality and aging at a high level that respects your intelligence and your thoughtfulness. And so in April of 2025, from the 4th to the 6th, we'll have Don Bizone here from New York to present the topic, the spirituality of aging. I've heard this before, just a little snippet. He said in this talk, when I was 20 years old, I took a shower and didn't realize I had a body. He said, now, much later in life, I have a specialist for every part of my body. That's true, right? It's about getting in touch with this. And what Don does so well is he takes this lived human experience in a winsome way, and he says, how does this reflect what's happening in life spiritually? And so I would invite you to come out for that. We'll begin. I love that we're partnering with Life Engagement for a Friday morning coffee on the 4th, and it will go from there. We'll have concerts, we'll have the LVE chorus all combining with us. So I want to make you aware of that. Joan Smith, Pam Ellis will have those sheets for you on the way out for the save the date. Invite you to take one. If you don't want it, take it and give it to somebody else. So that is all that I have, and now we'll conclude our meeting with Scott Cairns, our Executive Director.
Not bad for the first time. None of us fell going up or down, did we? The stairs. Speaking of coffee, Duke, so I smell the sweet smell of burning coffee right now. And Chad and his team will be gifting us early next year with some new coffee broilers in the back that we can use for these type of events. So thank you, Chad. Manager on Duty program. I think you're all aware that we have one. And the way it works is about 12 of us, 10, 11, 12 of us rotate throughout the year. And we come in and spend a half day on Saturday or Sunday, and most of us do Saturdays. And we have implemented, well, there's a picture of Stephen. Nice one, Stephen. He'll be here this weekend. He's our manager on duty this weekend. So at the front desk of the clubhouse, you'll see a picture of who the manager on duty is for the weekend. It also gives you a phone number to call, not our cell number, but the main number, and they will get a hold of us if we need to address something. Can't read this form, but it's a thorough form that takes probably an hour and a half to complete. Drive the whole campus as part of the Manager on Duty program, and then walk most of the campus as part of the Manager on Duty program. Just looking for anything that needs to be addressed, putting in work orders while we're doing that so they can get addressed the next day or leading up to, as soon as possible. But it's worked out really well. We talk to residents as we see them. We talk to team members. We make sure that security knows we're on site. And it's just something that's worked well in the past, and I'm glad we're continuing on with it. But we're using a form so we can track from week to week what we're seeing, where we're improving, where we need to improve. Resident Technology Group, we do now have 5 residents that have volunteered to be part of it. They will be working closely with Jeremiah and our IT team in-house and having their first meeting in January. They're going to be able to help with changing out batteries so that we don't have to send Jeremiah. They'll work certain shifts. They're going to come up with their own plan, but as a group. But it's going to be a helpful group for us here in the community. Sustainability Committee, we do have chairpersons. We have Dick Bergen, Ed Ziesness, who's here, and Stephen Anderson. They're our chair people for that committee. And there's 12 members in that committee. So the plan is, and it may change, but this is what we've talked about, is coming up with 4 projects for the start of 2025, breaking into 4 groups, having 3 members in each group, and just working towards sustainable products or sustainable practices. And one of them, as Chad mentioned earlier, is the green containers and when they get returned, how they get returned. We're likely to partner with housekeeping, as Chad had mentioned, and have a container collection area in the cardboard room areas so that they can make their way easier to go there for you, the residents, and for us to bring them down. The weekly update from the executive director from me. The next 2 weeks I won't be putting one in. There's a limited link that's going to be going out for the next 2 weeks, so if I need to throw something in there, I will, but don't plan on my regular weekly updates for a couple of weeks. Ask the director, questions were submitted. Reports went out to those members, the resident representatives from each floor, the cottage representatives, and your executive council. So if you're interested in seeing the report with the questions and answers that I give and get, go ahead and ask your floor rep, your cottage rep, and they'll email you a copy of it. I don't want to put out 400 copies of a 6-page report, so they'll email you it and you can check it out. But some great questions coming in, answers that we're able to give, and stuff that we're going to continue to improve on. Scam Central, that's a mousetrap with a gift. Kind of appropriate for this time of year. Common holiday scams, so the card decline scams. You pay for the purchase of something, but you get a call back saying your charge didn't go through, they want you to pay again, that type of thing. Charity scams, charity's starting to call you that they want you to donate money. Online shopping scams, I can't read it all, but I got it here. So bogus websites and social media campaigns that impersonate major brands. Be careful when you see an item offered at below market price. If you do click on an ad, make sure it directs you to the page you want to be on. Oftentimes you're directed instead to a third-party vendor. Gift card scams, gift card draining is what it's called. It's still very popular. It's when criminals steal gift cards in bulk off the racks, collect the information off the card, return it to the rack for unsuspecting buyers. Once you load money on there, the criminal will drain the money off. Delivery scams. I've seen a lot of videos lately of people following Amazon trucks and running up to the front door right after Amazon drops off and taking away things. So that can happen easily, obviously. And then travel scams. So just be careful. Be careful out there. Make sure your family members are careful as well. Okay or not okay? A resident uses a handicap spot as their personal parking spot. Not okay. I mean, there are short times where you might need to if you're running in to pick up something, but no, we can't use them as personal spots. A resident or family member gives a non-cash or gift card of $50 or less to a team member. So not cash or not a gift card. Not cash, not a gift card. That's okay, right? You can do that. What the team member then needs to do is let their supervisor know that Mrs. Jones gave me a box of chocolates, or whatever it was. But you're able to do that. A resident, team member, or guest borrows/takes a holiday decoration from a resident door area or building common area. Has happened this holiday season. Don't know if it's been returned yet. Stephen or Aaron, do you know? And what are we missing?
It was a Daffy Duck and a Mickey Mouse nutcracker.
No? It wasn't a nutcracker, or yes, that's gone? Not returned. So if you know someone that likes Daffy Duck or Mickey Mouse, let us know. Aaron will investigate. See if they have the nutcracker. Residents need to leave multiple phone messages or send multiple emails over several days before a leadership team member responds. Okay or not okay? Not okay. Now, you see that I bolded and underlined over several days because it's really not fair for you as residents to call or email a team member 3 times in the same day and expect an immediate response. Give them at least 24 to 48 hours to respond. If they're out for several days, as I've mentioned, they should change their email message and their phone message so you know. During what a resident or team member determines is an emergency, they call 911 first, giving the exact address of the emergency, and then notify security. Okay. If you deem something to be an emergency, call 911 for that person if they can't. then let security know. We'll be there quickly, but we don't want to lose 3 or 4 or 5 minutes trying to figure out if it's an emergency or not. So if you're unsure, if you think it's an emergency, someone call 911. We've had it a few times recently, and that's actually what the fire folks said as well, that they would prefer. But a key to that is the exact address. They've been given addresses for our main building, and let's say it's way over at East or something. Some guys know, paramedics know our location extremely well. They'll see 2211 and know it's East 211. Some don't, and they won't know. So they'll come to the main building, they might have to go west. That could be 5 minutes, as we know. So be specific addresses. Heartfelt thank you is just for your generosity. The team members were thrilled with the Christmas gifts that you gave them for the Employee Appreciation Fund. You outdid yourselves again, beating what you had hoped for, and we can't thank you enough for everything that you do for the team members every day. Skip over this? I mean, I get all the questions for Ask the Director, so there shouldn't be any. Yes?
I was wondering that survey we took earlier this year for corporate, where are the summary results available?
The question was regarding a survey that you took earlier this year for corporate. We had an executive director, nursing home administrator meeting today, and that same question was asked by an executive director. And we were told it will be presented to the board January 17th, goes to the ACTS board first. So all the results are in. They present to the ACTS board, then it will go out to the community. So I would expect mid to late January, we should find out what the results were. And then we'll put together, what we'll end up doing is picking out our 3 lowest scoring items, and we'll put plans in place to improve those so that we can continue to move forward. Thank you all very much. We'll be sticking around for a little bit, but again, as everybody, all of our team has said, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and thank you again for everything that you do for us.